All right, what's up, y'all? Today's the 8th of June, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Yeah. This humbles me, bro, and I want to say this how it's supposed to be said. I want to pray through this. I want it to be what it's supposed to be. This is In the Image Clothing Company podcast, all right? The place where we don't make these type of content videos. Sup, y'all? Welcome back to In the Image Clothing Company podcast. That's our intro, bro, for this one. Today's the 8th of June, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Here on the podcast, we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, okay? And this is episode 131. And I'll say it like this. Sometimes it is a little bit different. I'm looking at this painting of Jesus Christ. I'm praying through this. We have episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast that aren't necessarily gospel discussions, okay? The gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. And that does happen, okay? And that's okay in times and places, as we say. And this is one of those. This is an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast where I'm actually going to talk about Poodle Parade events and what to expect. Okay, so the title of this is Poodle Parade Events to Expect. Now, here's the thing. I'll talk about each of the four sides of our company. I'll talk about where clothing sits, and then we'll get into this, right, as I do. I love the way that I played that guitar at the beginning, and I didn't start this right at where I started the recording. I cut it a little bit where, I mean, I haven't done it yet, but right, that's what I'm going to do right before I started playing that. And I think I need to play a little bit more guitar, man, often, okay? It's one of the fourths of our company, and I need to incorporate it more to show that I really can play well, and a lot of other reasons, that I'll get into more as I play more guitar for more content under In the Image Clothing Company, okay? So this is our podcast. I told you what this is. We have another fourth of us in the Image Clothing Company, the main side. Now, this is the whole thing is allowing the human body to work, okay? That's what we do. I'm gonna keep this in my lap. Maybe I'll play it throughout. But we allow the human body to work through clothing because it's the only thing placed onto us physically, okay? The body's about its neutral position in every joint, okay? Like the wrist, straight out from the pinky. And I'm gonna play guitar while I talk about this. The neutral joint, straight out from the pinky, okay, of the wrist. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It's like I can't make this. And I'm gonna say it like this, bro. I've been having such a hard time with certain things in my life when they're what I'm supposed to do, okay? Now, we have In the Image Clothing Company poodles for the sake of the dogs, dude, for the sake of letting dogs stay natural, okay? And at Poodle Parade events, it's going to be this is really where I'm at with this. It's not a joke, dude. I'm not like trying to make this like some big showy emotional thing, like how much I love poodles, and so let me exaggerate it for the podcast. No. Okay. In the Image Clothing Company poodles, brother. I'm gonna post this for the sake of showing where I'm at with this, bro. No, we'll actually film the episode as it is. I've been trying to film this, and this is how hard it hits me, so. What I'm trying to film is an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, talking about what to expect at Poodle Parade events. And yeah, okay. Okay. So it is the 8th of June, 2025. Whether I make In the Image Clothing Company podcast's episode that I was planning this to be or not, because maybe I won't, make one, at least right now, about Poodle Parade events. I'm going to post this. If you're seeing it, that's where it's at, is on In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, just to show this is where my heart's at with this. I don't want it to be something that people think is silly. Well, you can think whatever you want, but meaning I'm doing these things for a big reason, and just know, like I was, trying to make this what would have been an In the Image Clothing Company podcast episode about, and just so you know the timeline, this would have been episode 131 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. We're gonna do so much with poodles, it's gonna be crazy. It's not only breeding poodles standard size, which we will do. It's not only all the advocating for the things that we do just through videos or whatever way we could. We're going to do really, 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 really big things. A lot of things for the environment, for health of dogs, and a lot of it's going to be events. Okay, that's what I say. Poodle Parade is what the events are called. Poodle Parade events under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. And just know they're going to be big, okay? Not just like some party thing where we have poodles and it's fun. It'll be really fun, but we're doing it for a lot of lifelong lasting reasons to change people's views on dogs, their approaches to dogs for the better, help the health and wellness and life of dogs. A lot of it will be environmental stuff, like cleaning things up, like rivers and pollutants, okay, with our dogs, and it'll be an advertisement at the same time for what we are as In the Image Clothing Company. And, feel free to film things when you come and, share it with people so they know what we really do here, because we do a lot for the sake of God. And, as all four sides of our company, In the Image Clothing Company, our goal, it's natural. And so I don't want people to overlook this because they don't think it's important. Even if you don't have dogs yourself, right? Because purebred poodles and poodle mixes of any size are the only breeds that we're going to have allowed at our Poodle Parade events. But regardless, you can learn stuff from what we do under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. For any dog, it'll apply. And we're really going to do a lot for the environment as well. I want people to really know. I want them to see it for the sake of, we're going to be breeding poodles, and that's going to be awesome, okay? Standard poodles, purebred, AKC registered. And that's going to be huge. That's going to be like one of the biggest parts of what we do under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. Okay. Definitely. Yeah. I don't want people to overlook it, bro. I don't want people to think that it's something silly. Like I'm just trying to make like fun content and talk about some cute dog. A big name in poodles is what I have been saying. In the Image Clothing Company Poodles will always be. Okay. So, just allowing our dogs to be in nature and giving people opportunities to do that with other people and other dogs through In the Image Clothing Company Poodles Poodle Parade events is just going to be huge, okay? And it's like I don't have any more to say right now on it. But I do want to make sure that this gets said before it happens. I don't want to be trying to advertise Poodle Parade events like when they're happening. I'm talking about them now, and people will have been able to know before any one of them ever happens and have some context and background on what our intentions are and why we're doing any of this. A lot of people need to get out, man. A lot of people need to see nature, and a lot of people don't because they live in a city or whatever their situation is. And that's what Poodle Parade events are going to allow, is a place for people to come gather and experience nature. It's going to be really, 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 really big. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure this is what they will always be titled, but probably Clean the Creek events, I think is what they're going to be titled. But that's what we're going to do is, yeah, clean up litter, trash, debris, man-made things from rivers, creeks here in Utah with poodles. Okay, bring your dogs. That's one of the things we will do at Poodle Parade events for sure. And I just want people to really know. I want people to really expect information, education, environmental benefits and changes that we're doing through Poodle Parade events so that people know what it really is, why we're having them. And you can totally have an event where you just get together and have fun with dogs, but that's not all that this is. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. This is not at all how I expected this video to go, but I can tell that this is how it needs to be for right now, for what this is. Okay, and I want to just say how grateful I am. I've got this little bowl of watermelon here, and I'm just gonna go eat it. I don't know, I just keep getting prompted to eat this bowl of watermelon. I went to church today and I was late. I went after church even had ended, and they were eating fruit, and I got this bowl of watermelon. I'm gonna go eat this outside, walking, while I watch this back, and I'll post this on In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. Okay. Things line up. I think that's one of the big things, is things line up. I'm saying this today on the 8th of June, 2025. And now wherever you are, if you've had the opportunity to see Poodle stuff actually take off under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, this was before any of that. Okay, just so you know, I'm not making claims, I'm making plans, okay, of what's to come. And really, when I say I'm making plans, I'm following God's plan. And that's why stuff like this sometimes happens, where a video will end up being something that I did not expect, because I knew what I needed to say, but my approach to it, I didn't quite know how it was going to be yet. And then once I get into stuff like this, all of a sudden it's like, okay, this actually is just more of like a preface, right? Of here's what's to come. I'm gonna place this where you can see it and where you can also look back to know. You gotta have a little bit of faith, and then things just line up and things work if you're trying to be obedient to God's will. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. So check out InTheImageClothingCompany.com. That's where everything will always be scheduled. You have to know what to bring and what's not allowed, okay, at all the events you ever come to under any sides of In the Image Clothing Company. In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, In the Image Clothing Company main side, we have events, okay? And expect it. All of what we're going to do is going to be huge. Meaning the extent of what all we do, okay? I don't care to just have a company where I sell products and I'm not involved. This is something that's our lifestyle. We're all together in this. It's a family. It's a community. I'm not distant as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. That's why we're going to have events. We're centered and geared around the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we're all together here on this earth, okay? We have one God. So do the dogs, by the way. So when it comes to Poodle Parade events, it's a lot about the earth. No joke. And I say it like that as in like, you'll see, okay? Because the Clean the Creek events, it's going to be stuff like that where we have litter that we're picking up, okay? And I don't know exactly how everything's going to look as of right now and exactly how it's all going to be structured, but that's how it's going to be, is things of that nature, if you will. Meaning, things of nature, okay? There's so many beautiful things in Utah, so much beautiful scenery, mountains, deserts, rivers, lakes, wetlands, slot canyons, slick rock, forests, all the things. I mean, we've got basically every type of terrain on the earth here in Utah besides ocean, okay? I mean, it really is so vast and diverse. When I say vast, I guess, you know, it's a desert. Sometimes they're just open plains. Be careful, okay? In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, always, it would be said in the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, bring water, meaning hydration, not just plain water. Bring something to hydrate you for you and your dog, okay? Bring food for you and your dog. Bring something to restrain your dog with, whether it is a slip lead, a harness and a leash, a collar and a leash. Okay, bring as many dogs as you want, but you're in charge of every one of them. Everybody is always responsible for their own injuries or injuries to their own dogs. Okay, so be careful because there's some terrain out here. There's poisonous plants. There's venomous snakes. Western diamondback rattlesnakes, right? We've got a lot of stuff in the places we'll be under In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events that are potentially very dangerous. Even just hikes, right? Someone could hurt an ankle or a foot, or a dog could, okay? So just know everybody's responsible for their own injuries, just because that doesn't lie on us, right? We're not ever going to be able to possibly be held accountable for just hosting a public event in a public place, you know, for anybody's things that happen to them. But we do want to make sure that we do what we can to inform people, you know, on how to be safe and, you know, look out for people that are there. It's, you know, it's a family, man. Now, when we have the dogs coming to the events, there's going to be a lot for them, right? I mean, it's a Poodle Parade event. It's for the dogs in the ways that we're approaching the dogs, right? In addition to the things we're going to be doing for the environment as well under the Poodle Parade events. But a lot of, you know, getting dogs used to things like water. Poodles were bred to be water retriever dogs, okay? So it's in their genes to a point, and maybe kind of far back, but it is, to like water. And so introducing dogs to water, you know, during like Clean the Creek events, right, we'll be able to do that. But we'll also have In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, where we just help dogs with things like that. A lot of information on dogs, okay? It's going to be really, really, really big, you guys, always. And a lot of behind the scenes stuff, you know, where we talk about our breeding and how we breed dogs naturally under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. And, you know, the importance of purebred dogs as one of the main things we advocate for, okay? We'll discuss it and we'll just get together and really have a good time. Sometimes these events might be really big, okay? We might have a lot of poodles. So please only bring dogs that are at least decently well behaved. Meaning if you've got a really aggressive dog, don't bring them to In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, okay? Again, one of the things we advocate for is proper ownership of dogs and taking accountability as owners of dogs. If your dog's just going to potentially bite another human being or another dog, then no, right? Know your boundaries, know your limits. Please do what you can to help your dog, you know, learn how to be well behaved. And that's what we do under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, though. One of the main things as well, right, is just um really teaching how to train dogs proper. But mostly just basic obedience, okay? So you can get information from us if you'd like to. But make sure you don't bring any dogs that are going to harm another dog out of something you could expect, okay? Things come up and dogs get upset with each other and people get upset with each other, but, if you can see what I mean, right? Okay, it's going to be really big, so just expect it, man, because that's the point of announcing it. That's the point of hosting them, is for people to come. So expect it, meaning get ready for them, get ready to attend Poodle Parade events under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles. And definitely just know how big this is, because it's stuff that people who don't have dogs can get things from as well. Because when we film these events and we show what we do, and when we show the impact we have on helping people have better behaved dogs, okay, on allowing dogs to live healthier and longer lives by just letting dogs stay natural, our slogan for In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, as that fourth of our company, In the Image Clothing Company. And then also what we do for the environment, okay, that's going to be bigger than I even know right now. And I feel it and I know it, and I know some of the things that we will do, like some of what I've mentioned in here for the earth itself, okay? But it's going to be really big. So, okay, context. You know I love it if you know me, Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Our videos are long sometimes, yeah, because we give deep context. We talk about things as they are. We give information. We give truth. Doesn't mean we're always right, but we talk about God's earth, God's sons and daughters, which are us, and all God's creations. And one of those is dogs, poodles and poodle mixes, okay? What we do under In the Image Clothing Company, poodles. All right, so we specialize in standard sized poodles. Just know, same thing, if we're going on a hike or going on a kind of a longer type of adventure like that for one of Poodle Parade events, small dogs could have a harder time, okay? Some of the events will be kind of like centralized in one location, and some will be more of like a longer hike where we go miles, right? Sometimes we might be at a lake, sometimes we might be at a river and staying at just like a certain one. Things like Clean the Creek events, where we will be cleaning up trash out of water, okay, like that. We might not really travel all that far. So your smaller dogs might be better suited for one of those events than having like a 5-10 mile hike or whatever it comes to being, right? Small dogs just are smaller, right? They have smaller legs, and getting over rocks and things. Here in Utah, we've got big mountains. And even in our deserts and stuff, right, it's just some rough terrain for a little dog. So just disclaimers, right? Just to know what to expect. That's what this is titled, right? Poodle Parade events to expect. So just check the scheduling, check the disclaimers, like I'm saying, okay, what to bring, what's not allowed. Check the temperature and the weather. Utah's so unpredictable with the weather, and just expect sometimes, if it's going to be summer, pretty scorching heat and dry. Okay, and whatever we're going to end up doing in the winter with Poodle Parade events, same thing, cold. If we have Poodle Parade events in the winter, okay, snowy, health is one of the biggest things. I mean, we don't want anyone getting frostbite. We don't want anyone getting heat stroke. We don't want anyone dehydrated. We don't want the dogs injured or the people injured. So just know, it's not like coming to an event in a heated or air-conditioned building for somebody's company where everything's pretty comfortable and there's bathrooms and stuff, right? So those things as well, right? If there's a Poodle Parade event that we have somewhere where there's no bathrooms, right? Bring the things you're going to need to figure out where and how you're going to be able to, take care of things like using the bathroom in nature, okay? this is big. This is real, right? I mean, just how big these events will be, man. Regardless of the dogs, even, but just the information behind what we show. I can't explain this to you guys how big it's going to be, but you'll see it, right? This is the whole thing that I say all the time about don't believe me. I'm not trying to make claims, but just stick around if you do, or stop back in if you do, okay? But it is about the dogs. When I say regardless of if it is or isn't, I mean, that's the reason we have them is to get the dogs out. Because we could just do Clean the Creek events under like some other type of avenue. But no, it'll be for the dogs because the dogs will get to have a fun time in the waters and, right, rivers or lakes, whatever it is that for the individual event. And we will kind of wake up, those of us who don't really realize how much pollutants are out there and how much there is to clean up, even in some places that seem pretty like far away from civilization and, cities. There's a lot of trash out there. You know, casings from gun cartridges and shells, right? Water bottles, caps from things, and packages of food, and just all sorts of trash. That's a lot of what we will be doing under Poodle Parade events. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. But then also discussing, as we always say, under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, like keeping dog collars light, keeping them centered, just like human being clothing under the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, right? How to walk with a dog for your body to stay more natural and for the dog to respond to it well, right? A lot of information like this, okay? This is really what we do. So just, these are some of the events to expect, as in some of how a lot of them will be laid out. And there you go, okay? Thank you, and thank you for a third time. It's going to be awesome. Under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, as our litters come with our In the Image Clothing Company Poodles breeding program of our standard poodles, we're going to film the litters being born. We're going to film the process. So you can see all those things, and that'll be fun and informative, but things that you can actually personally be involved in. For those of you who don't end up with one of our puppies, right? Poodle Parade events. And when you do get involved with Poodle Parade events, you're getting involved with a lot of what I've said within here. You're helping the earth, you're helping a lot, especially with, as I say, the gift of video, coming and filming what we do and sharing what the events are about. Now you're helping In the Image Clothing Company grow, and then you're helping us be able to do more things on all four sides. More things to allow bodies to work of human beings, because just spreading the information of what we do, okay, with clothing, keeping it centered, fitting correct, and made from 100% natural materials, ideally, as In the Image Clothing Company clothing will always be. And you're advocating for a lot of things just by coming to our events. Okay, you're being an advocate yourself. Now, one thing that we will be having happen through this as well, without having to try to do anything, is it will be an advertisement for In the Image clothing part of our clothing company, okay? In the Image Clothing Company clothing, if you will. Because every video or piece of documentation or content of people who attend In the Image Clothing Company events, our bodies and their ability to work is the proof that's in the pudding, okay? As we say, that's the point of In the Image Clothing Company clothing. Well, also In the Image Clothing Company dog products, is to just not restrict the human beings and the dogs. So coming to the events and seeing that we can just operate well, that in itself, again, it's just a walking advertisement. It's an advocation for the human body doesn't need to be trained. It just needs to be allowed to work. Dogs don't need quite as much exercise as a lot of people think. They just need to be unrestricted, okay? So here's some Poodle Parade events to expect. And know, again, the environments. Rivers, lakes, That's going to be a big thing, is things around water, and that'll be good for the sake of it being Utah and so warm, okay? The dogs will be able to cool off, especially poodles, their hair, right? Rather than fur of other dogs. Poodles sometimes, because if your dog has a little bit longer hair, then, a nice shortcut for the heat, then yeah, being in the water, that'll be really good, um, to allow the dogs to cool off, okay? So, there you go. Just expect it, man. Expect it, expect it, expect it. Remember, a lot of these things, regardless of when they do happen in relation to when I'm talking about them, as in, I do talk about things before they happen, just know that's why, is so that you know before it happens, right? If you build it, they will come, is an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast where it was, past episode 100 something of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And that's the whole point, is that we've got all this before we've done any like tangible things, if you will, under In the Image Clothing Company, more than just videos. And the reason is because then when we do these, I guess we're calling them tangible things, like events, like products, um, and like things that people can get involved with more than just watching our videos, which is a huge part of what we are, is just video, because it's amazing. You've heard me say it, the gift of video, okay? But then people have something to come to that I've already built. So I can talk about like the first ever Poodle Parade event. And people are like, oh yeah, we've been hearing about this for X amount of time already, right? This is what I'm doing. Okay, episode 100 of In the Image Clothing Company podcast was titled Laying a Foundation, even though that's quite a few episodes. Okay, but that's just our very foundation. So, yeah, okay. Expect it, expect it, expect it. Love it, okay? Be excited. Poodle Parade events are meant to be exciting. They're meant to have fun. They're meant to be very informational, and everybody's got to be as kind as we possibly can, okay? Yeah, okay. Respect each other's space and distance, and dogs, okay, as well, right? And there you go, okay? Expect it, expect it, expect it. The mountains are just unreal. If I'm saying it, here in Utah, I love them. So, so, so beautiful. Poodles are dogs that love adventure, okay? Bred to be water dogs, water retrievers. It was the original reason that became a breed, the poodle. They're very capable dogs. Often people look at dogs like they're just like a showpiece, okay? Because they often do win dog shows for their coats, right? Poodle Parade events are not just about an image of the dog coat, right? It's not like we're a dog show event for those grooming type reasons, just for clarity. But poodles are very, very athletic, very agile, very capable physically, especially larger dogs. I'm not talking down on small dogs, but I do, make it a pretty strong point of the benefit of larger dog breeds, okay, or just dog sizes within a breed, like the standard size poodle, but also that's just what we specialize in and what we breed under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles breeding program, okay. So, yeah, there will be disclaimers, right, on the flyers, right, information on if we're going to do like a decent hike for a Poodle Parade event. It'll have a disclaimer, like, just so you know, this is going to be something that small dogs are, just if they can do it, are going to have a pretty darn hard time. So like specific Poodle Parade events, we'll make it very clear in the advertisement before you ever come to them, on which ones might be, mostly suited just for standard size, meaning just big dogs, right? Large poodles. Okay, but not all of them will be like that. Some of them will be so easy, I guess, physically, as far as like it might just be at a park where there's not much but just grass. And right, so any dog size, any person's capability can come to those as well. Because yeah, we want everybody to be able to have a chance to do things in the ways that that's going to be, right for us to do. Not that we're going to go out of our way to do something inauthentic to us so that people could come that maybe otherwise couldn't. No, we're going to stay authentic to us, but we do want to try to do all we can too to not, um, limit who could come, at least to some of the events. So having some be, like I'm saying, just so physically easy, right? Where it's not a hike and it's not in crazy heat. It's not, right? Those things are the main ones. More simple stuff where people can just hang around, learn the information, have good times with the dogs, and just, meet new people too, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ in the ways that we do at Poodle Parade events. I mean, we just do that through all that we do as disciples of Jesus Christ. So it's in our name, right? For those of you who maybe are like, what? Why are you bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ into a Poodle event? Well, because in the image of God is how we're designed as human beings. Jesus Christ designed our bodies in his image, and that's why our company name is what it is. Okay, In the Image Clothing Company, our 5-word name as a whole. So, just so you know, right? Just out of clarity, I guess, me making sure that people have the ability to know where we're coming from when I talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ, because that's what our whole company is, and how it's even allowed to be what it is, because we allow the human body to work. And so all we really do is just get it back to God's design. Same with the dogs as well, right? Letting dogs stay natural can only happen if there's a, like a foundational, this is how the dog is, before we could ever have a say to alter it or change it or to, have any kind of effect on it at all. Okay, ideally we don't have any effect on it at all. That's how the human body works the best. That's how dogs will work the best. Okay, so a lot of these things will be discussed and shown, and a lot of how-tos under In the Image Clothing Company Poodles, Poodle Parade events. Okay, and then our products as well, same thing, right? As I said with human being clothing and just our bodies able to do the physical aspect of things like hikes under those type of Poodle Parade events. The dogs themselves, especially those who do what we show or just have the products from In the Image Clothing Company's Poodle product side of us, right? Those dogs will just be able to just exercise more without panting so much, right? Lift their heads easier. Their body mechanics will just work better poodle posture, as I call it, right? Because of things like centered, balanced, light collars and leashes and harnesses, okay? And the things that we really show. So this is what to expect at Poodle Parade events, but these are also a lot of like the event types to expect, okay? Poodle Parade events to expect is the title, because if you didn't know, this type of context, then you might think that it's just like maybe a place inside of a building or something. And no, it's about God, it's about nature, so it's going to be outside. Okay, cool stuff. If there's ever a Poodle Parade event inside, then cool, right? But the focus is getting back to basics. The goal is natural for all 4 sides of In the Image Clothing Company. So thank you, and thank you. 4 sides to us, right? The main side of In the Image Clothing Company, I talk about the anatomy of the human body in depth. Keyword, allowing it to work. We do it through clothing. I show free modifications. We have In the Image Clothing Company clothing always to let the body work, okay? And it'll do it well. In the Image Clothing Company music, where I show sizings and setups of guitars to not alter the body. The hands are essentially the shoulders, so we can't be altering them because then it travels through our whole bodies while we play guitar. Now, we also do a lot with music, just, singing and making music naturally in any way that we ever approach it under In the Image Clothing Company music. It's just about the human body, okay? Our company, that's where it started, that's what it is, other than the things that we do as well, right? But if we didn't have our bodies, we couldn't do any of these other things. So also just my music is titled and labeled under In the Image Clothing Company music that you can listen to if you'd like. And then the podcast, where I thought I was going to place this video, we're on episode 130 as of today's date of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. And that's where we do have the deep dive discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. We just talk about things in depth, blunt, bold, raw, real, authentic. It's just the truth of all things, okay? We're all human beings on the same earth. We have the same God. We discuss it, we give context, and people then can know how to navigate life easier, okay? So there you go, all right? When you come to In the Image Clothing Company Poodle Parade events, it would very much benefit you to check out what we talk about under the main site of In the Image Clothing Company, because if it's a hike or just, we're walking quite a bit, or even just, standing the heat or the weather of whatever kind it comes to being at one of the events, your body needs to be allowed to work. And through clothing is the only way we can do that. It's the only thing physically placed onto our physical bodies. Okay. So there you go. Okay. Thank you. I just keep looking at this bowl of watermelon. I'm going to go eat it, and I'm going to just listen to this. Like I said, I already said that, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I do that. I watch the videos back. I listen to the podcast episodes back before I post them. That's what I'm going to do right now with this. I really do want to express my appreciation and gratitude, though, for just knowing these things. Like I'm saying, stuff that hasn't happened yet in the physical. Everything happens spiritually before it happens physically. And I just know a lot of what's coming, and I don't know how it's going to come about, because resources, money, right? I don't know where it's all coming from yet, and I don't know exactly how we're going to get to where we're going, but I do know a lot of where we're going, and I'm just bringing you guys along, right? Talking about things as we do. That's what this is. We do so much just documentation. Context over content is one of In the Image Clothing Company podcast's episode titles. Okay, so we're just real. We're just here. When it comes to these videos, it's as if I'm just sitting here with you talking, right? So at Poodle Parade events, it's going to be the same thing. It's like we're just hanging out. Don't expect it. Don't look at me as if like you're there for me. By no means, do not come to a Poodle Parade event for me, to like see me. No. It's about the dogs, it's about nature, it's about God, it's about the information, it's about the truth behind what we do, okay? So there you go. I'm going to say it one more time. I've said it a few, but just to be very clear, and just so you can see, too, where things are lining up and how things play out in the ways that they do. It's the 8th of June, 2025. So we will have beautiful poodle puppies being bred, okay, under In the Image Clothing Company. Check us out. And if you want one, okay, yeah, we have applications, and we're selective on who the dogs go to, because we do everything very proper here, okay? And we're setting the dogs up for success for the rest of their life, okay, to stay with the family that they go to forever and be treated well, healthy, and yeah, okay. So thank you, and thank you. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, and this is a lot of what to expect at Poodle Parade events, and yeah, what type of events to expect as well, okay? It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful here in Utah, okay? Yeah, this state in the United States of America is just, oh my gosh, it's like a biological wonder. It's amazing. So, thank you.